Chapter 7 Airlift to Mumbai. Dr. Jatin Sargari contacted his classmate and friend Dr. Tapan Soikia, renowned oncologist at Prince Ali Khan Hospital, Park, Mumbai. He asked him to register and book a cabin for Ruplu. Except for his school associates, everyone knew Ruplu by his nickname Ruplu. Thus his name was registered as Master Ruplu Chaudhary with registration number UMID 58100. 23/2/2011. Bhaskar collected the slides and blocks along with the biopsy report and left for Mumbai. Dr. Fukan helped in managing Bhaskar's flight ticket as there was a dearth of time. He went ahead to complete the formalities at Park and keep a nearby hotel booked. But the problem arose in shifting Ruplu from Guwahati to Mumbai. We had no idea of emergency airlifting procedure, so Rintu and I went to the Jet Airways office. The office people were known to Rintu and they tried their best to arrange for his quick shift. Mumbai office was contacted and tickets were purchased for 24th February. A total of 15 tickets were required. One may be astonished as to why 15 tickets. The stretcher, which occupied 6 seats, was placed and fixed in the flight that flew from Mumbai. Hence a total of 12 for the stretcher to and from Mumbai, plus 3 seats. Out of them, one was for a doctor, that is me. Rintu accompanied us, so 1 seat for him and 1 seat was vacant. We were not bothered for its high cost, but our only concern was Poo's comfort and prepared for the best fighting stance. Ruplu was being mentally prepared for a shift on stretcher and flight. The brave little boy did not fear but was rather excited. He smiled and said, "Moi hui jam. I shall sleep and go." 24/2/2011. With a heavy heart and agony, we had to move on. The hospital billing in the meanwhile was cleared and packing was done the previous night as it was an early morning flight. Pompey stayed back with me in the cabin. 3:30 a.m. I was trembling as I woke up. Ruplu's dreaded journey to conquer the man-eater was to begin. He was the soldier in the front line and Bhaskar and I behind him. Poo was freshened up and given an analgesic so that he remained pain-free throughout the shift. Cabin bed to stretcher, to the ambulance, to the airport stretcher till he was laid comfortably on the flight stretcher. 4:30 a.m. Rintu's convoy was ready. 3 cars were lined up behind the ambulance. The convoy was none other than his brothers-in-law, Putu, Jadu and Rontu. They all had a strong bond and understanding. They were like friends in need, friends for festivity, friends for love and care, and also friends for difficult times. I shivered as I got the last bit of packing done, with the urine pot, bedpan, tissue papers, medicines ready at hand. I strongly held back my tears and prayed as Ruplu was transferred from the bed to the stretcher. Poo was thrilled and smiled at seeing his dear Rintu Mama, Puttu Moha and their team. I sat beside him in the ambulance ready for any assistance. Rintu's convoy followed us as we drove through National Highway 37. The sun rose as we reached LGB International Airport. The hospital ambulance stopped at the back gate as we waited for the airport ambulance. Dada had also come from Rihabari to see us off. He was very tensed, but with a smile caressed Ruplu's hair and wished him good luck. Jadu, the cool brother of Babi, had a memorable gesture. As we waited, Pooh had the urge to urinate and Jadu offered a helping hand. He asked me not to take out the urine pot as it would get dirty. Instead, he gave me an empty mineral water bottle and said, "Tinkumba, take this." Both Ruplu and I grinned but feared it would get overflowed and spill all over the place. However, Ruplu used it well. The airport ambulance arrived and took us through the back gate. I was with him till the stretcher was taken into the flight. All the while I implored God for Ruplu's safety and hoped that he was not hurt. Ruplu was all set before the passengers boarded the flight. He was comfortably strapped to the small bed overhead, the last 6 seats on the left side, and was all cozy inside a brown blanket. Passengers entering through the back door were surprised and said, "Oh wow, you got a nice place." Some greeted him with a hi or hello. Rintu and I sat on the aisle seat and attended Ruplu with water, juice and snacks. Once he had also used the urine pot. Thank God the blanket maintained the privacy. The journey went smooth. He was pain-free and not nauseated. Thus Ruplu was airlifted to Mumbai. 11:30 a.m. We reached Mumbai. The Ajmals provided great hospitality and thanks to them for the great arrangement. Mr. Shahabuddin, an employee of the Ajmals, looks after the medical department and guides the patients and attendants who travel from Assam. Bhaskar and Shahabuddin were ready with an ambulance at Chhatrapati Shivaji International Airport. Again the shift from one stretcher to another unto the ambulance. However, God gave Ruplu that extra dose of energy and patience as he coped up very well. An elderly person would have increased blood pressure and sugar levels after such a stressful journey. It was like God had given Ruplu a tough battle to fight, but also with all the arms that were required to win. The ambulance took us straight to park at Baikula. Ruplu and I were in the ambulance, hot and tired from the nerve-wracking journey, while Bhaskar and Rintu talked with Dr. Tapan Soikia, and the decision to admit him the following day was taken. The painful symptoms, ill health, loss of appetite, weight loss, anemia, etc., the endless investigations, blood tests, biopsies, x-rays, CT scans, MRIs, and the long tiring queues for these procedures, collection of reports, consultations with oncologists, ortho-oncosurgeons, radiotherapists, all led to an unspeakable level of strain to the patient, the family, and the caretaker. The diagnosis of the man-eating disease in itself is a big mental trauma. The last drop of poison, chemotherapy, radiotherapy, immunotherapy, surgery, cyberknife radiation, bone marrow transplant, stem cell transplant, and what not. The treatment that never guarantees a cure for this disease. I was very disturbed thinking about all these difficulties, and my tears rolled as Ruplu was being carried upstairs to the bedroom in the lodge. He too must have been very upset and fatigued, being strapped and lying flat on the stretcher the whole day. He must have had a backache, but the little soldier never complained of the turmoil on the battleground. Finally, the bed in the lodge freed him off the stretcher as a free bird let out of its cage.